So part of living with adaptable consciousness condition is having conscious access to unconscious thought forms. And this is like deeply, deeply intriguing to me in a variety of ways, on a variety of levels, especially neuroscientifically. So memories are not about gathering data of the past. That's not their purpose. That's how we experience them, but that's not their neuroscientific role in our survival or functionality. Memories instead are all about projecting the future, all about allowing for information to be brought forth for optimal survival in presently and unfolding moments that create the future of our experience. Implicit projections are something that everybody experiences unconsciously. For example, I was on the floor of my chiropractor's office, the waiting room, and I was on the floor with a coloring book, nurturing my inner child. Somebody walked in to the office and stepped on me. Now, you'd have to see the office, but there's a couple feet, there's a few feet, there's at least a yard or so between the door and where I was on the floor. And the door is glass, you can see through it. You can see through it. So you can see into the room where I'm obviously a full-body human, like an adult person, not just like a little child. I'm an adult person on the floor. You can see it before opening the door. As you open the door, it would be the immediate thing you see. I'm right there, not directly within stepping distance when you open the door. And so there's a gap physically, but visually you would have seen me right away. And so this person, in the immediate present moment, would have been able to see me before opening the door, while opening the door, and while stepping forward into the room. But their mind was so stuck in implicit projections that there was an assumption unconsciously that there wouldn't be anybody on the floor there. And so even though visually it would have been very, very obvious that I'm sitting there on the floor coloring, this person was so caught in unconscious implicit projections that they stepped on me. They didn't notice me before opening the door through the glass door. They didn't notice me when opening the door, where I'm this obvious thing. I would have been the only thing in their direct, immediate eye contact, or visual, direct frontal vision, central vision, I mean. And while stepping in, while physically moving the body through orientation in time and space, which normally you use your eyes to direct your movements, they still didn't see me. And so in all of that processes, and in the space that there was physically between the door and where I was, they were so caught in unconscious implicit projections of memories where there wasn't somebody sitting on the floor, that the immediate sensations of their actual present moment reality were dismissed in their cognition, and they stepped on me. And instead of apologizing, they got upset that there was somebody on the floor. It was like, I wasn't expecting someone to be there. And it's just like a perfect example of how memories are used unconsciously within all of humankind to project what's happening. The immediacy of things is not always objectively experienced because of these implicit projections. Now, someone like me living with adaptable consciousness condition, implicit projections are something that I consciously experience. I'm consciously aware of every implicit projection. I'm consciously aware of these unconscious memories becoming activated within me and projecting data within my reality. And distinguishing between them and present moment objective experience has been a big piece of my healing journey. So this is really fascinating, because memory is something that people are still trying to understand. Memory is something that still bogs down neuroscientists. They don't know. Like, there's a lot of amazing insights, and we've come so far as a human species, but it's still this area where there's a lot of unknowns. And I would just love to be able to contribute to this research in some capacity. So I'm starting here with my observations and we'll see where it goes. But implicit projections are important for understanding humankind. They're very important. Everyone's perceptions, perspectives, responses, viewpoints, reactions, actions, all of it is directly related to these implicit projections. And if people like me are experiencing these implicit projections consciously, it's not that we're insane, it's not that we're crazy, it's not that we're mentally ill, And so if neuroscience can catch up and gain more knowledge and insight and awareness about these things, we'll have more power to help heal mental health battles that are being misinterpreted, if you will. I kind of see it as there's all these people who have an increased access to their own neurophysiological minds, but because the general medical professional field doesn't understand this aspect, there are misunderstandings and mislabeled as being crazy or ill or needing medication. And if we could understand this, maybe we could embrace the miracle that some people have a unique access to the mind that other people just don't have the opportunity to experience. There's a lot of power in that insight and a lot of potential in that insight. If there's people like me who can be more aware of what's happening in the mind, maybe we can help contribute to the understanding of the human mind, where other people wouldn't have the opportunity to experience or explore that, So just some cool stuff. Implicit projections are really relevant to all of humankind. And when living with chronic dissociation, they become especially relevant because a lot of times when there's a disconnect with things, then the mind is having more projections because there's less data about the immediacy of things being effectively processed through an integrated aspect of self, and the mind unconsciously kind of substitutes this lack of present tense data with past tense data and the implicit projections, where fragments of past memories are being projected into the present moment experience of self and surroundings. So, yeah. We'll be sharing more of our case study ventures at patreon.com/artistryofexistence if you would like to explore more and come play in the neuroscientific realm of consciousness with us. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you have a beautiful and blessed healing journey day.